Hello and welcome back to a very special Oakwell update.
Unfortunately, the game at the weekend against Northampton was obviously cancelled due to a frozen pitch, but at the weekend, Barnsley took over Sheffield to support one of our very own, and thankfully, we have him on the podcast this evening.
So Callum Simpson, still British and Commonwealth super middleweight champion, less than a week on. How does it feel?
Feels great. Feels great to be the champion, still be the champion. Obviously, I won the WBO Intercontinental title as well the same night. So yeah, it feels good.
It was, of course, an emotional night as well. Lily Ray was obviously one of our own as well, and her memory sort of lives on through yourself and your family as well. It kind of felt like there was absolutely nobody stopping you from honouring her with that victory. Did it feel like that on the night?
Yeah, definitely. I think my coach was a bit worried that I might have put a bit too much pressure on myself going into the fight. I got a name on my fight kit. A lot of stuff that I'd done before in the interviews and making sure that all my family were ringside as well. And knowing that I wanted to kind of dedicate that fight to her. But I said to him, don't worry, it's a must. No matter what's happened before or during the fight, every fight's a must-win fight anyway. So, but yeah, I were, especially when I ate him the first time as well, I were man possessed. But then there were no way it were gonna get through that second round.
Yeah, and the tribute to Lily Ray as well was beautiful. I was chatting with your dad a little bit before, and I said it's such a hard thing, grief, isn't it? And to be able to take a positive out of that and put it into the thing that you love. I mean, Johnny Nelson as well. He walked off camera at one point. I think it's touched everybody. How does that feel? That support and the kind of love that you've had from that.
I didn't even actually know they were going to play the tribute video before the fight. I thought they would just putting it out a couple of weeks before, and then I looked on Twitter that night and I saw loads of tweets about it, and I thought, where's everyone seen that? But yeah, the support is absolutely unbelievable, and I think that's one thing that's helped me. Well, one of many things that's helped me kind of get through camp in the past few months that have obviously been very difficult, But yeah, the support that I've got from like Barnsley, the community, and my friends, family, it's just unbelievable.
And it's what Barnsley's about, isn't it? We all rally together, and it'll be great to, keep remembering Lily Ray.
Looking back on the actual fight, there was obviously sort of a flurry of shots, flurry of punches for the initial knockdown. Was it at that point where you thought sort of the titles were staying in Barnsley sort of thing, or even before, obviously, Steve Woodall got back onto his feet for albeit a short period? Did you know at that point that was it, you were going to win that one?
Yeah, so I always knew I was going to win the fight, but actually during the fight, I think it was the last minute. I caught him with a combination, and I think when you watch me on TV, or if you see me, I look like just a bit of a scrappy fighter, not much in the shots. But when you're in there with me, like whether it's sparring or in the ring, like I throw my first combo, and once they get caught, like the red comes up and it looks like they've been in like a blender or something. And look, you could just see his face change, and I thought, yeah, I've got you. Like now you realise what you're in with. And then the second round, I caught him with a good uppercut, and he backed him on the ropes, and I caught him with another uppercut, I kind of pushed his head up, caught him with an uppercut right on the chin, and his eye just kind of rolled back and he dropped down, and I caught him with a left hook, which woke him back up, and then I caught him with a right hand again, and that just knocked him back down again. But yeah, I knew as soon as I knocked him down, I thought, there's no way you're getting past this round.
Yeah, it's a good point actually, because you mentioned there you knew all along you were going to win the fight. I can imagine, being a boxer, being in there on yourself as well. You have got to have that sort of supreme confidence for yourself, and you clearly deliver with that as well, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think as well. I don't just say, "Oh, I'm going to win. I'm confident I'm going to win." There's a reason that I'm so confident because I prepare so well and I train so hard. I think a lot of boxers get nervous, but get nervous for fights because it's the unknown that they're scared of. But I make sure I train hard, I prepare well, I train extremely hard to make sure that the unknown pretty much is known. So like I said, I make sure I train hard, and so my confidence isn't just like false confidence. It's real. It's more than believing. It's knowing.
Absolutely, and seeing that support for you. The crowd was absolutely wild, wasn't it? Especially in Sheffield as well, which is slightly controversial for Barnsley and Sheffield to be in one place. But everybody just had such a great night. The atmosphere was electric. What was that like?
Yeah, I think the first time that I heard the crowd, I went changing when I went out to the toilet, and I heard this for like 2 hours before even on, and I just heard like everyone just chanting my name, and I thought, yeah, it's gonna be rowdy in there. And then I went down to the promoter's office and looked out the window. I thought, let me have a quick look. I just seen everyone with the Callum Simpson flags, Barnsley flags, and yeah, every time they turn out for me. But they've been to the supporters come to London, Manchester, multiple times. So it's nice that I spoke to Boxer and I told them that we don't mind travelling every now and again, but let's get close to home. Let's make it easier for them to travel. And yeah, only 10 miles down M1, they turned out in numbers as always.
Yeah, and you've obviously got that massive support, as you say, and it's obviously things are moving quite quick in terms of obviously headlining being the main event. What's changed so quickly for you, even though the little intricate details maybe leading up in fight week and things like that? What's it like being the main one, the main guy, the main fight?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, when I first signed with Boxer, I think I had 10 fights, obviously won them all, 8 by knockout, 5 in first round. So that was kind of what got me into their well, they got me known to them, and when the first sign, we just like they took a punt on me pretty much, but I believed in myself, my team did, and then I had a couple of good performances with them, and they show the support that I get, and I think now they've realised. I always said to Ben Shaw, when I first signed, I said, Ben, you don't realise what you've got here. You really don't realise, and yeah, I think now he's starting to see. I think so. He is, yeah. I think when we come to Oakwell last summer, the show that I've got the support. People want to come and watch me. I've got an amazing support behind me. And on Saturday night, I think I showed my boxing level as well. So I think that back-to-back headlines, back-to-back sold-out events. I think they know what they've got now, so they're going to keep on pushing me, keep on getting behind me. So yeah, which is great.
And a lad that loves his sport as well. You're always here at the Barnsley games, supporting the team. How do you think Barnsley are doing at the moment?
If you asked me that a couple of weeks ago, I would have said answered it a bit different. But yeah, after they've had some great performances recently, so they're doing well. We're fifth at the minute, so I think we'll be going into playoffs. I think this season, and we're doing well. Just got to keep it up.
Absolutely, a huge time for Barnsley lads, isn't it? We've got Callum doing it for the boxing, and the Reds performing really well too.
Yeah, and in terms of, we've already mentioned the Barnsley fans being brilliant for yourself, travelling and things like that. Barnsley's home form over the last sort of 12 months or so hasn't been fantastic, but that seems to have changed recently in the turn of the new year. 2 really good wins at home. You know just how important those Barnsley fans are. How important do you think they are for improving the fortunes of the Barnsley team as well?
I think they're massively important. I think for me personally, it's on both in training when I've got to try and dig deep, knowing how many people look up to me, are proud of me, and I want to obviously train hard for myself firstly, but I want to do them proud as well. And I'm sure that the lads here think the same when they're in training and on the pitch. And except for me, when I'm in the ring and I land one, even if it's just like a glancing jab, the crowd just goes crazy. So obviously that just spurs me on. And then when I dropped him, just the feeling. It's not even like I can't hear the noise. I can actually feel the noise. It's weird. It's crazy. So I'm sure that the lads on the pitch they get that same kind of motivation when the fans are cheering for them as well.
You touched on it there a little bit about being an inspiration to younger people as well. What kind of advice would you give for a young lad who's wanting to start out in boxing or any sport really? I imagine it requires such focus and dedication. It's one thing that's so evident in you as a person is that you have that, and you've got that kind of sparkle and that that type of personality that you're determined. What advice would you give to the young people with that?
I for anyone that's wanting to like start out in boxing, I'd say don't put too much pressure on yourself when you're starting off. Just go in and just enjoy it. Like I started when I was 9. I just enjoyed it. You know, I lost my first fight when I was 10 years old. Started crying my eyes out. I was crying. Threw my trophy on the floor, and then But yeah, it was consistency, and you know, I just kept coming back, kept turning up, and I think I had 53 amateur fights. I think I lost about 15, 17 of them. You know, I weren't the best, I weren't amazing, but I just trained hard, I was dedicated, and I've stuck at it, and look where we are now.
Absolutely.
And we've mentioned Oakwell, obviously. We all heard you after the fight and potential plans for the future. Hopefully back again with another fight at Oakwell. It was amazing the first time. That'd be amazing to do it again in the summer, wouldn't it?
It'd be absolutely unbelievable. You know, I think the first time when we did it last year, it was like a dream come true, and I thought I was going to get bigger than this, but I believe summer we're going to make it much, much bigger.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And you know, I wanted to ask you about the last one. Obviously, it's some time ago now, but that must have been unbelievable. The atmosphere on the night. I was in the stand as well watching, and it was just unbelievable. I'm looking back, thinking of the pictures of you looking across to the stand with the belts up. That must have been absolutely phenomenal.
Unbelievable, mate. Absolutely unbelievable. So, yeah, like, I can remember when just before as well, before I did the ring walk, Dave Caldwell were talking to him, and he was saying on about, you know, I might feel alright in the changing room, but then when you walk out, you see that crowd. The nerves might get to you, and I was thinking like, no, I'm gonna be absolutely sound. I'm gonna be absolutely sound. And but yeah, just like the full night, even here now, this is where I was sat. This is where I was sat the same on actual fight night. I had all my kit up here. I had some good.
Must be some nostalgia there.
Yeah, a bit of nostalgia, some very good memories. I almost started shadowboxing. You be careful. You need to be careful. But yeah, you know,
I don't want to get too close.
Even just like warming up in here, you know, all cameras in here, all the music on, and then when we did the ring walk, I walked. I thought, will it get to me? Will the pressure get to me? I didn't think it would, but you don't know until you know. And I walked out. I heard, even just from walking out these doors, I heard all the crowd just chanting. Yeah, Yorkshire.
I can hear it when you were there.
The football chants every like, yeah, just it was unreal. And then when I walked and I saw the crowd, I just felt it. I was like, yeah, this is where I'm meant to be. I'm made for this. And yeah, just like I said, I couldn't hear it. You could feel the atmosphere. And I took my time on the ring walk and just tried to give everyone a little fist bump, and yeah, just soaked it all up and just enjoyed it.
Absolutely. So obviously we've got coming up the Bristol Rovers game. Me and Callum have a bit of a league table as to score predictions. It won't surprise you that mine are poor and Callum's are pretty good. Yeah. So can you give us a little bit of a score prediction?
I'm gonna go for 2-1 Barnsley.
Yeah, that felt pretty confident when you said that. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we like to concede, don't we? But we're gonna win as well. So yeah, we'll let them have one.
Well, Callum, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the Oakwell update. Hopefully not for the last time as well, but congratulations on your victory the other night, and hopefully we see you back at Oakwell in the summer. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
13th of January 1951 was the date that a young Barnsley-born Arthur Kay made his debut, aged 17, in a Division 2 match at Luton Town. It was an unremarkable 1-1 draw, but little did we know at that time that Kay would go on to play 285 games for the Reds and score 60 goals. He was a great player. Lots of older supporters talk about just how good he was. Indeed, when he signed for Blackpool in 1959, it was thought that he'd replace the, albeit ageing, Stanley Matthews. That's how good he was. Surely one of Barnsley's greatest players.
On this day, Barnsley FC shared a fantastic memory this week, highlighting that it's 26 years to the day that Jan Åge Fjørtoft joined the Reds. Here's what he had to say about it.
Hello, all Barnsley fans. This is Jan Åge Fjørtoft speaking. I saw the other day there was the day that I signed for you. I came from Sheffield United, of course. They sold Brian Deane the same day. The Blades call that the Black Thursday. For me, though, I came back to the Premier League. And when Sheffield United said, we will let you go, then you go. And I had a fantastic stay at Barnsley. I knew that there was a big chance that we could be relegated, but I love Danny Wilson. I love the story of the club. I love the atmosphere. And I must say, that was as expected. And I scored my goals in the Premier League. There were some highlights on the way. I even was a wrestler against Liverpool in that famous game when I think we ended up without players on the pitch because the referee sent everybody off. So I do follow the club. I check the results all the time. I got a great memory from my stay there with the fans, with the club, and with the people of Barnsley. So best wishes from Norway. I follow you. Try to get up in the Premier League again, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
And of course, the focus returns to football on Saturday when Daryl and the team head to Bristol Rovers, looking to extract some revenge for the FA Cup defeat in November.
The Reds have a reasonable, decent record against the Gas. 38 games, 14 wins, 11 draws and 13 defeats. The last win was back in September at Oakwell with goals from DKD and Adam Phillips. Let's relive those moments.
Keeler Dunn, he's a versatile player. He can play as a number 9, play as a number 10 as well. And here he is on his debut, scoring. Davis Keeler Dunn drifting in from the left-hand side. And you can't say it hasn't been coming. Barnsley have absolutely dominated this opening. Trying to get around Belongo, and does! And creates the second goal for Phillips. Adam Phillips, who missed from close range in the first half, wasn't missing that one. Quite rightly, he goes across to Barry Cotter and says, "Thanks for that, mate." Right on his forehead. Can Barnsley hang on to this lead?
So Callum, how do you see this one going?
Well, it's obviously been a bit frustrating, hasn't it recently? The cancellation for the Northampton game due to that frozen pitch. Prior to that, Barnsley were obviously on a fantastic run. 4 wins in 4 and really sort of running on a great run of games. Some great performances, great goals from all over the pitch. So everything was going really well, confidence really high. And then obviously at that point you wanted to play games thick and fast. So it's a little bit frustrating that Barnsley have missed a week, and it feels as though we've not played in ages now because of that. But I'm hoping that they can keep that momentum high. They've obviously had that time to rest as well, which could have been important. A lot of games over that Christmas period. Yeah. So maybe the rest came at a decent time, to be fair, and that might just work into the hands of Barnsley. But it's of course going to be a difficult game. I always think with Bristol Rovers, it's always a tough game. It's always a tough team to play against in this sort of 3-year stint, two seasons and a little bit stint that Barnsley have had in League One. They're always a difficult team to play against. They've obviously had managerial changes and lost players along the way, but you always know, I think, what you're going to get against a Bristol Rovers side. It's always a tough game. I mean, they were lower down in the league table. Barnsley obviously played them in the FA Cup a few weeks ago, and they got the better of us. They beat us on penalties, of course, and in a game that Barnsley, it wasn't the best performance, but they were very much the better side, had the most chances, didn't take them. But the resolute defending of the opposition, that got them over the line, and then they made it count when they did on penalties. So hopefully we can use that as a bit of impetus to try and get revenge and hopefully turn that around, because yes, it's disappointing to go out in the FA Cup, but I'm sure we all value the 3 points in the league just that little bit more. So hopefully we can go there and get that revenge. But it's certainly going to be a difficult game. However, I'm confident, despite that little bit of break, I'm thinking that that's going to work in Barnsley's favour, that little bit of rest, and we're going to have the confidence, dating back to sort of the Bolton game on Boxing Day. From them, Barnsley have been fantastic, both home and away as well. We know the away form has been brilliant, so hopefully we keep that going on Saturday and we get the 3 points. Absolutely,
and with that, some score predictions. I'm going to say 3-1. What are you betting, Callum? You sound quietly confident.
Yeah, I never like to be too confident. I don't want to get ahead of myself, and I'm sure the players and coaching staff will be exactly the same, but I'm going to go 2-0 Barnsley. That's all for this week. Thank you to the champion, Callum. Big thanks to Jan Aga Fjortoff as well, and thank you for watching.
We'll see you next week.
You Reds.